Checkity check. All right. Hello and welcome to today's magical class on music and the guitar and all things extemporaneous to and or within that. We're going to talk today about flavors of the minor sound, right? Flavors of minor, right? So what does that mean? Well, there's many kinds of minor scales, right? Perhaps you've heard of the natural minor scale, right? But there are so many more. There's the Dorians and the Phrygians and the old Melodics and the Harmonics and some others too. And we're going to talk about them. We're going to explore them today. But, just to get the ball rolling, off the bat, you want to ask yourself, can you just play a minor triad? Can you just play the 1, the flat 3, and the 5? In this case, of E minor, right? E, G, B, E, G, B, E, B, G. Just looking for E's and B's and G's. Can you just do that, right? Minor triad. Arpeggiated. Ooh. Right, and obviously if we want to be acquainted with the various flavors of minor, we should get acquainted with the essential minor triad. So once that's there, right, notice what you can do. Well, you could just add the old the 4th degree instead of 1 flat 3 5. If you add the 4th and then you add the flat 7, we're in pretty familiar territory. We're in the old minor pentatonic. That's a great sound. If you're interpreting it as a chord, it'd be like a minor 11, right? You've got the root, the 5th, the flat 3, the 4, aka the 11, and the flat 7. So we could be thinking, minor 11 chord, which is, the essential notes of the minor pentatonic. So, getting acquainted with your minor pentatonic, very important, especially on the guitar. I've talked about it in other lessons, that this is a pentatonic instrument, as in the literal tuning of the instrument here. That's an E minor pentatonic, right? That's E to G to A to B to D to E. But if you put it in sequential order, E, G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D. Well, single string. There's our minor pentatonic. Now, of course, perhaps the next simplest thing to do or logical thing to do would be to add to that. And what would we add? Well, we would probably add the blue note, right? The quote-unquote sharp 4 or flat 5. Right, so now we have the minor blues scale, right? Is it an A sharp? Or is it a B flat? I don't know. Right, so notice we haven't even gotten into a full 7-tone scale yet, right? We started with just the triad. Then we added 2 notes. We added the 4th and the flat 7 to make it a minor pentatonic scale. And now we're adding the quote-unquote blue note. I better stop. So anyway, now what do we do that? We have minor pentatonic, right? Well, let's go ahead and just do natural minor, right? Quote unquote natural minor, which would be E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. All natural notes except for that F sharp. Try it on a single string. Notice the characteristic notes, that flat 6, that C natural, right? The F sharp's also lovely. That F sharp and that A flat, that's your tritone, right? Ooh. 20 million points to whoever can tell me what the interval is between F sharp and, did I say A flat? I'm thinking I'm in the key of C. I be misspeaking. It's a C. It's a C, not an A flat. I was thinking I was in the key of C because I always teach in the key of C because no one wants to learn their keys. And the first one you gotta learn is C. It's generally the easiest. Anyway, we have that E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, that flat 6. Uh-oh, that wasn't natural minor, but now it is. Right, so noticing the feeling of, that flat 6, the flat 7. Great sound, right? Flat 7 2 1, flat 7 2 1. Sounds nice to me. But let's keep exploring the flavors, right? What if we, instead of a flat 6, we're gonna make the 6 natural, C sharp. That's it. Everything else will stay. So this is known as Dorian. The Dorian mode, or the Dorian scale, eh? Right? Similar to the natural minor, except for that natural 6. That guy right there, C sharp. Depending how you approach this set of pitches, you're either going to sound like the Grateful Dead, or you might sound like you're in medieval times, right? The old Scarborough Fair, right, borrows from the Dorian mode, right? And there's just that one moment that, are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, right here. Parsley, sage, rosemary. That's C sharp. And that's something to note, that one moment shapes the color, the sound of the thing, right? That one natural 6 in a minor context as opposed to the flat 6, okay? So brief recap, we did our minor triads. We did our minor pentatonic. All right, we did the blues, minor blues. Then we did natural minor. And now Dorian. All these are going to work on a minor chord. That's Dorian. Natural minor. Minor pentatonic. Minor blues. Oh, one more time, minor blues. One more time. Minor pentatonic for fun. Where are we at now? Okay, let's go to the melodic minor scale. So melodic minor is just like major, except you've got a flat third, right? So that'd be something like sort of Dorian-E-ish, Dorian-E-like because of that natural 6, but you've also got a major 7. Notice how bright it is. And here's your minor third. F sharp, second degree, down to 1, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's our melodic minor. So we have a major 7 in this scale, and I think for plenty of players, the idea of a major 7 in a minor tonality can kind of be beguiling, right? Like, oh my goodness, because we're so often used to minor pentatonic and bluesy stuff, which has the flat 7, right? But that major 7 on the minor, that's a great sound. And you can even use it over minor 7 chords. And you know what I'd have to say is that as you get more accustomed to all of the flavors of minor, right, that the 6s and the 7th degrees are often, there's a lot of leeway in there. You can blend them, you can mix them, you can use them all. You know, we don't need to stay in Dorian, we don't need to stay in harmonic minor or natural minor. We don't need to stay with the flat 6 or the natural 6. It's not an either or. It can be a both and kind of thing, right? Like for instance, perhaps you've heard something like this. Right? Ever heard something like that? Right? Something like. Right? That's got the root 1 1 2 3 7 2 3 flat 3, that is flat 7 2 3 6 2 3 flat 6 2 3 5 2 3. All of those, that 1 7 flat 7 6 flat 6 5. We know that sound, right? So anyway, melodic minor. If you're not acquainted with it, try one string. Now, from melodic minor, get acquainted with that brightness of it, and thinking about that major third, that G natural, and just hearing the relationships of that minor third to every pitch in that set. There was an error in there one more time. That sound. Major 7 in a minor sound, right? Now let's go to harmonic minor, okay? Now harmonic minor similarly has a major 7, but it also has a flat 6. So our C sharp, which we've been keeping around since Dorian, it's going bye-bye. And we officially have an augmented second between C and D sharp. And there's a unique interval. This hasn't shown up yet, right? So if we're jamming in E, we'll drone zone today. And so this is our harmonic minor. That flat 6 to the major 7. And we're in business. I've found, both in my own ear and with students, that this scale is easier to hear and get accustomed to than the melodic minor. And I think part of it is we just love the drama of that flat 6 to the major 7. The sound of an augmented second. That's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, major 7. So notice, what's left to do? There's plenty more, but one we should talk about is Phrygian, right? So Phrygian has a flat 2 in it. This is going to be the first minor scale we're looking at with a flatted second degree. 1 flat 2 flat 3, 4 5, flat 6, and flat 7. This can also be another one that a lot of people aren't acquainted with, but it's a good one to get acquainted with. Getting used to that flat second, right? And that flat 7. A very flat scale, right? Flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. And any scale you're having an issue with, start on one string, just to see that intervallic makeup, right? The hopscotch pattern of the whole thing. Oopsie, went natural second there. Okay, so that's Phrygian. And you know, what I would experiment with here is, you know, I essentially try this, right? Those augmented seconds are very enticing, very flavorful. So what I might do here is I'll throw out the flat 7 and add the major 7. That's 1 flat 2 flat 3 4 5 flat 6 major 7. It's almost like harmonic Phrygian. There's a particular name for the scale. I don't know what it is, but that's the makeup of it. 1 flat 2 flat 3 4 5 flat 6 major 7. So you're really blending the brightness of that major 7 and the shadowiness of that flat 6 and flat 2. And notice what that gives you around the tonic, around E. That gives you a D sharp and an F natural. Right? What interval is that for 1 billion points? D sharp to F natural. You give me that answer, you get 1 billion. You get 1 billion points. So there's some Phrygian flavors, right? 1 flat 2 flat 3 4 5. What about this? We did Phrygian with that major 7 in there. Alright. Ooh, now I'm going to do Phrygian, and I'm going to make it a little more interesting. I'm going to do Phrygian with the sharp 4 as well, right? So that's 1 flat 2, flat 3, sharp 4. Oh, that was an error. There's your sharp 4. The 5, the flat 6. Now we're getting interesting here. Interesting set, right? 1 flat 2 flat 3 sharp 4 5 flat 6 major 7. So we're blending a lot of what I would call overtonal and reciprocal energy, or we could just say sharp energy and flat energy, right? Major energy with that major 7, and that's kind of the brightest thing in there. And then you got a lot of, well, actually the major 7 and the augmented 4th. Believe it or not, that's a major sound, that sharp 4. It's not a flat 5, because we have the 5th. And that flat 6, also notice then we get another cluster around the 5th, similar to the tonic, right? We had the major 7, rather the major 7 and the flat 2 around the tonic. It's a cool way to resolve. Now we have the augmented 4th and the flat 6 around the 5th. Or the whole scale. Flat 2, flat 3, sharp 4, 5, flat 6, major 7, 1 on a single string. Ooh, on a single string. And so this gives us a number of augmented seconds from the G to the A sharp. And as well from the C natural to the D sharp. And it also gives us the unique interval that sandwiches the tonic and sandwiches the 5th. What's the name of that interval? For 1 million points. Get your 1 million points. Comment below for your 1 million points. Alright, now we could keep going. let's try this, right? Notice the sharp 4 energy. That's another sort of sound that usually isn't brought into a minor context, unless of course you're thinking of it as a blue note, right? As a blues note, right? But here I'm really trying to feel it and think of it as an augmented note, a sharp 4, not a flat 5, not a bluey flat 5, but a bright sharp 4. And another very cool scale to check out, right, is going to be Dorian, or other minor scales, but Dorian with a sharp 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7. There it is. And yet again, another pretty cool augmented second from the G natural to A sharp, G to A sharp. Right? Finding these augmented seconds in a minor territory. So here's that scale. This is, I'd call it the Dorian Lydian. Very cool sound. This is a mode of a perhaps more well-known set of tones. 1 billion points. If you can tell me what mode, or rather what scale does that mode live in, right? Dorian Lydian, if you will. Now, what about I would say melodic minor Lydian, as in it's 1, 2, flat 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's very cool. And notice here, this is an interesting thing, right? We have an augmented second from G to A sharp. And we have a minor third from A sharp to C sharp. And I'd encourage you to try and investigate and inquire into what's the difference between a minor third and an augmented second. The feeling tone of such things. Explore that, okay? Because a minor second, certainly a minor second isn't a minor third, but an augmented second is not a minor third, and a minor third certainly isn't an augmented second. And I'd like you to notice in some of these scales we're exploring that, there's plenty of augmented seconds showing up, like in this Lydian melodic minor, if you will, right? 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. And what if we did a harmonic minor Lydian? You get a really tight cluster there, right? E, F sharp, G, A sharp, B, C to D sharp. So here we have another set of cool augmented seconds. We have G to A sharp, right? And then we have C to D sharp. Anyway, so I guess that's a brief overview of various minor flavors, minor tonalities, minor scales, right? And, we didn't get into arpeggios or anything like that, but just scales, sets of tones, sets of 7 pitches or 6 or 5 pitches in a minor context, exploring all of the sounds. I don't know if we can really all the sounds. Can you explore all the sounds? No, but we can explore a lot of them. And in this sense, all those scales had minor triads in there. Remember what we started with, right? That minor triad underneath all of that. All right, 25 minutes in, we're going to call it. Thanks for being here. If you want to learn more, click that link. Or don't, it's up to you. But if you do, and we get on the phone and we decide to make music and learn music and study music, you're going to evolve. You're going to be an evolutionary recipient of the cosmic knowledge. So